Let's do a full 50-minute class with a focus on glutes and hips. I'm going to show you some different variations using the box on the floor and also with resistance bands. So you want to grab a band that is heavy. I personally, because I have hair on my arms, or my legs, I stay away from the latex or non-latex ones because they like to rip the hair out. So I'm using Rigor Gear. It's a fabric. This is a heavy band, so that's going to make me work really, really hard. So let's go ahead and start on the floor. Now, you can see on the floor I've got a mat. It's a gray mat, so it's kind of blends in with the ground. But you're going to notice it's at a V, an angle. So basically, I've got the reformer here and the mat there. So I want to make an A-frame, essentially. So this is how you want to set the box up. Swivel pulley down if you have that option, or collapsible riser down. Once you've got that swivel pulley, you want to hold it out long, and you want to make sure that it's aligned center of the box. So if your mat and your box are way offside, just kind of adjust them so the center of the box is aligned with the swivel pulley. And that's going to allow us to go back between the right and left side of the body. Now, if I want to add some overhead stretching, so this is a little too close. If I have the range of motion to move the box away, that's fine. But I'm going to just err on the side of looping this twice just to get it. So I'm going to sit the band on the carriage, and then I'm going to start by having a seat. Now, there's so much you can do with this series. Oh, by the way, a light yellow spring is all you need for this stability work. So holding it on with one hand, slide yourself down, and I'm going to get myself to my shoulder blades are at the box edge. And I've got a nice little stretch. So I'm just going to hold with my left hand and place my right hand on the side. Now, if you've seen this series I've done, it's a semicircle. You can do it on the mat variation, or I've done it with it on the shoulder, feet on the headrest, and long box on the bed. So I'm just going to hold on to the box and kind of give myself a nice little stretch. And let's do that 5 times. Now, please make sure that you're on an appropriate spot. If that hurts your arms because your lats and pecs are tight, you can just bend your elbows. If not, keep them straight. Hold them onto the box edge if you want to get that nice stability when you lower down and up. 3 more nice little baby stretches. Don't go too far. If it feels that you need to do some more mobilization. You could always do, it's Express Workout 22. I think it's 22, where it's a stretch starting with a foam roller. So this is kind of taking that concept and bringing it into the class. Okay, so now we're going to rotate our pelvis right and left, getting some mobilization there. Just keeping it nice and easy. You'll notice my left knee goes forward as my right hip lowers. But I also want to make sure that my knees are reaching forward with the shins to get that traction and stretch. Arms overhead is really going to increase it, holding onto the box, lightly pulling on that side is going to also increase it. So now we're going to go ahead and settle our hips up in a bridge, really stretch our spine long, glutes are activated. Single arm presses. We're simply going to press the arm up, over shoulder, and back. And what this is going to do is just turn our lats on and really cause us to use the glute on that stable side. If for some reason you're doing this and you find the yellow is too heavy, do a tricep or just do an overhead row like this. So nothing's right or wrong. You can see I've got the loop and handle combo. So I can hold on to the loop and do a short lever arm if I want. So let's actually start there. Let's do a row for 5 overhead. Knowing that we're getting that glute work, it's bang for your buck, I call it, anytime we do the bridge series off the box. Let's do 1 more pull with the right, and then switch hands, and then pull for 5 on the left. Switch back, either staying there with the row or going to long lever arm. And we're just going to lift the leg on the same side, marching for 5, 4, stabilizing in the hips the best you can. 3, left glute is working really hard to stabilize. 2, last one, and switch for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and 1. Go ahead and give your moment to stretch. Let yourself just lower down into that semicircle stretch. Adjust yourself a little lower, a little higher, wherever it feels good. I'm wiggling my hips back and forth, and I'm allowing that to slowly and painfully stretch my upper back. Wiggle around, whatever feels good. Getting a little lower, a little higher, and then slide back on. Just make sure you're at the base of your ribs. All right, so going to both hands in the strap, if you're doing long lever arm like this, or if you're going to do short, hold on to the handle if you have that. If you don't have the handle combo, just hold on to the end of the rope like that. All right, so let's actually do 5 and 5 so we can get a little bit of both. If you cannot do the 5 long lever arm, don't worry about it. But let's start with the narrow poles for 5, 4, 3, bridge your hips back up. I almost forgot about that. 2, and 1. Going for long lever arm, both arms in and press for 5. Oops, don't go that far. Just over the chest. 4. Really think about your lats and your pecs. 3, 2, staying at the bent arm if straight arm is too much, and 1, getting that nice pull over. Go ahead and slowly lower down, lower into a stretch, and just kind of wiggle your hips back and forth. Adjust yourself higher or lower. I'm going to stay where I'm at. All right, so we're going to keep our body on this time, and we're going to rotate onto the right side of our hip. And we're going to hold on, and I like to place my hand behind my skull, and just by getting my armpit, now your hip to armpit ratio, some of you may have your elbow have to be on the box, but we're going to just get a nice little stretch, work that lateral hip, and then lower down to a stretch and back up. Let's do 10 each side. I'm feeling hips, abdominals, lower back stretch, and then butt to lift me up. Just find a body position that allows you to traction and get a stretch. Now go ahead and get yourself all the way on the box to where your forearm is on the ground. If you need to get to where you're on your rib, you can take both legs out, or you can just bend one and hook it behind it. And then just stay straight arm presses down to the side for 5. If you want to hold on to the handle and increase the range of motion, please do that. If not, hold on to the loop. 4, keeping that length through the waist. 3, 2, unlock the leg if you have it. Scissor your legs and add that scissor for 5, staying on your side body. 4, top leg back, bottom leg forward to counterweight. 3, 2, last one. Great hip work. That felt really nice. Switch, roll onto your tummy, and then onto your other side. Depending on where your rib to armpit to hip ratio is, I'm going to hold on to the long loop. I'm going to bend that top leg, lower the right. I'm going to scoot back a little bit more. If you have to get your arm on like this to get that traction, just find a position that works for you. Get that traction and raise and lower for 5. You can add the arm if you want to get deeper in that lat stretch or not. 4. Feel the waist stretch. 3. Put your hands on and just feel the guiding away. 2 and 1. Go ahead and slide on. Get yourself to where your forearm is on the ground. Both legs are out if you want, or keep the bottom leg bent for stability. Pull the leg onto the box. Get yourself situated, and let's do 5, 4, 3, and again, if you need to, do triceps. If straight arm is too much, go ahead and do that. A couple more. Now I'm going to scoot on a little bit more, starting with my leg back as I press down. And left leg back, right leg forward for 5, 4. Feel the hips work. Stay stable in your side body so you're on that hip. Last 2, feeling a really great burn. One leg forward, bottom leg, top leg back, and one more. Press arm, scissor legs, and rest. Let's go ahead and let go of that momentarily. Come on up, have a seat, do a nice little figure 4 stretch. Wake that hip up to get it flexible. Always flexing forward from the hips to get that nice deep hip stretch. Switch sides. Sit however feels good for you. Get that leverage just right. Now let's go ahead and flip onto hands and knees. Make sure the bed is not in your way. So if it is, you need to adjust your box forward. Lower the right leg back and lift and lower for 10. Straight leg, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, hold the up position. Stay organized in the shoulders. Bend the knee and press up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and knee on box. Extend left leg back. Organize shoulders, leg is straight. Raise and lower for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Level that pelvis. Prevent it from rocking and rolling. 4, 3, 2. Hold it up there. Bend the knee and press up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and pigeon sit that left hip on the box, sliding yourself back, getting that nice stretch a little deeper this time. You can place forearms on the box and hold for 10 more seconds. And switch. Now the first time we're going to hold this stretch, but I'm going to grab the band. The first time you do this, you may need to try different tensions. If you do not have hair on your arms, you can use a latex or non-latex one. But just be very mindful that if you're doing this with guys with hairy arms, be very, very kind to them and use I've done this before where I have socks, tube socks. I just bought a bunch of cheap tube socks from one of those discount stores, and I just cut the ends off of it. And I will put the tube socks either on my forearms. This was before I had a set of these. So if you don't have a set of these and you have a pair of tube socks, you can put them as sleeves on either the legs or the arms, and that helps to prevent ripping of the hair on guys. Or just make sure that you tell your guys, say, hey, we're going to do something tomorrow. Make sure you wear long sleeves. You can do that too. So let's first put this over the right and then the left. And then I want you to slide this up to your belt line, to your waistband. If you have a butt, you got to really get it over it. Here we go. Once it's up at your waistband, you're good to go. All right. Have a seat. You have to slide your hands in, and that's where the forearms are going to be uncomfortable. So I'm going to lower down, and I'm going to get into that bridge position. Okay. I am going to take my hands, and I'm going to lower. I'm going to place my arms in my band, and I'm going to lift myself up. Now, this is only a prep, so it's not really big, but your goal is to press your arms down and your hips up. Arms press down, hips go up. Just 10 of those. Arms press down, hips go up. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now slide your hands out back on the box. Here's your basic rule of thumb. If you were not able to shoulder extend, meaning pressing your arms back and bridge your hips up, then it's too heavy. You need to get a medium band or a light band to start with. It takes a lot of shoulder extension along with hip extension. Now that is only a prep. When we get up onto the Reformer, we're going to give you the option of full range. But we're going to do that again, and we're going to add some marching into it. So when we talk about in our bridge series, pressing the arms down onto the carriage when I'm bridging up turns the lats on. This is like that on crazy. All right, so we're going to roll back down, get ourselves where our ribs are on, slide our hands in again. Get yourself where you're set. Now you're going to press down, bridge up, lift right. So 2 things I'm trying to do. Trying to press my arms, bridge my hips, and then lift left. So it's bridge press and right. Bridge press and left. Bridge press and right. Bridge press and left. One more, each side, marching with the press. Your goal is to get that strap away from your butt. And if you have a bigger butt, you got to work harder. All right, so remember to adjust your band according. If you had a problem being able to coordinate those movements, do it without the band. Just imagine you have that band there, and you can do it on the floor too. This can be done without that marching higher level. You can do it on the mat. I am getting such a great workout with this heavy band because I'm having to really press hard into my arms and stabilize in my core and spine and pelvis as I lift that leg up. So option A, keep it short lever, which is marching. Option B, extend the leg out. If you feel that it's compromising your integrity of your spine and your pelvis, stay in short lever, which is bent knee. Long lever is straight arm or straight leg. Just keep it in marching. All right, last one before we get on the carriage. Get yourself set. If this is twisting, untwist it. Wow, I'm going to feel this tomorrow. All right, let's get our hands back in. Noticing my hands are not on the front of the hip, they're on the side, so I can press them down. And let's go ahead and you're going to bridge hips, press arms, lift leg, extend out and back down. So press and extend, press down and extend leg up. Don't forget that nice bridge, hips, arms, and leg. hips, arms, leg. One more each side. Last one each side. And slide your hands out. Slide your body back on the box and come up. All right, let's take that box away and post the strap. Bring that swivel pulley back up. We're going to start where we just left off. I want 3 red and a blue, which is standard for footwork. Foot bar slightly forward from center, from standard, so we can reach our shins forward. Now you're going to need to reach and grab the spring side edge of the reformer. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So see how far away I am from the shoulder rest. Based on my arm length, I'm going to need to hold on. It's really going to help me. So let's first put your feet on the gray strip or your extended platform. Slide your wrists in. Bring your arms to the side. Grab the spring side edge. So slowly engage your core. Reach your shin bones towards that foot bar and bridge your hips up. I want you to feel the thigh stretch, because if you're not feeling the thigh stretch, you're compressing your spine. You're basically just lifting your pelvis vertical. So engage your glutes, engage your core, reach your knees towards that foot bar, lift up into that bridge and stretch. So bridge, reach your knees, hold on and press your arms down. The great thing about this one that gets the really great glute strength is you can hold on to that spring side edge as opposed to the prep just trying to press our arms. But remember that prep's really important to do before this so we really can find the right band for us. So let's do 3 more. Press, reach your knees forward, stretch up. And 2 more. Lengthen that spine as you bridge. And 1 more. And rest. Heels on. Just press in and out for 5, 4, 3, holding on to that edge of that carriage, 2, 1. Close, bridge up and down and open. Close, bridge and down. I want you to really articulate down that spine. Bridge and open. Lift and open. 2, 1, and rest. Go ahead and move your hands out, arms out, rock knees side to side. Now let's say you want to work strength, but maybe this is too much when you've got onto the reformer and you want to kind of go through the motion and feel everything versus working strength. If you've done this series before with the band, then you're good. But if you want to go a little lighter today, please do. Don't go for strength unless you understand how it's going to impact your spine and your hips. All right, so we're going to do 5 each direction. Lift, open, lower, close, and then open, lift, close, lower. So it's like the semicircle bridge series. All right, let's get our hands, slide them through. I'm not sure what I'm going to feel more tomorrow, my shoulders and triceps or my hips and hamstrings. All right, heels on the bar. Let's first get our hands secure, abs and glutes engaged, spine is as long as we can get with axial elongation. Bridge your hips up, knees forward, open, roll down that spine, close, up, open, roll down and close, up, open, down, close, up, open, down, close. Last one, up, open, down, close. Reverse, get that grip. Now I'm challenged on my left grip for some reason today, so I'm really having to think about my fingers and holding on a little bit more. So press out first, lift up second, close, keeping that stretched, and roll down. Press out, lift up, keep pressing, and down. So when I say pressing, you're holding your hips. But think about the knees going to the ceiling. Press out, lift up, knees to ceiling to press the hips up through that band. 2 more, out, lift, knees reach to ceiling as you close to really stretch that band out. 1 more, out, up, knees to ceiling, roll down, take your band, slide it up to your knees, around your butt, and hold that there. Rock your knees side to side, let that stretch. So finding the right bend for you is going to be key. If you do not have the ankle bands like these, and you have a TheraBand, you can always knot a TheraBand and try that as well. That works quite fine because you can adjust the tension. So I would say using a green would be appropriate for that. All right, so let's just hold our legs wide. We're going to do a bridge with some hip abduction, okay? My wrist really, wow, that was quite a workout. So bridge up, press out, roll down, and in. Bridge, widen knees, roll down the spine, in. Up, press out, roll down, and in. 4, out, down, in. 3, out, down, in. 2, out, down, in. 1, out, down, in. Now, as you're resting, I want you to look and notice when I bridge up, my hips are not going this way, which is putting load into my neck and throat. Be very aware that your knees are always reaching forward as you do that. All right, so now we're going to change that sequence. We're going to press our legs wide first, lift second, narrow third, lower hips. So start with your knees knocked, heels are wide, length through your spine, abs and glutes engaged. Press out with your knees, hold that pressure out, bridge up, narrow, roll down that spine. Out, hold that out, lift up, in, and roll down. I'm going to hold the shoulder rests just lightly. So press out, lift up, in, and down. If you want to hold the spring side edge, you can do that too if you have that arm length. Or you can just place your hands across your chest, lightly pressing arms down. Last 6, up, in, and down. 5, up, in, and down. 4, up, in, and down. Hopefully you're burning as much as I am. 3, up, in, and down. 2, up, in, and down. 1, up, in, and rest. Rock your knees. I'm letting the opposite arm really stretch. So let's go ahead and slip that out. Let's say headrest up, have a seat, foot bar standard. Put your spring tension on for feet and straps. We're just going to do a little nourishment in the hips. So let's say the bridge sequence on the box, the prep, and on the bed, the full series was too much. but then you went to the knees and it was way too light. Stop the pause, grab a heavy band for the hip abduction series and do that again. I definitely want you to be burning in the hips when we do that. Eventually, you should have the original bridge sequence with the band around your hips and the hip abduction series with bridging at the same band. That's where we want. But for now, we have some areas that are, after all that stretching, I normally do feet and straps with my headrest up for today. All of that just really feels good in the down position. So feet in loops on the arch. And we're just going to do start right into leg circles and make sure that your swivel pulleys are even. I know we moved them earlier. So get that nice stretch. Anchor the hips and circle. Keep that spine length. Feels so good after all that. So you will notice that I have a affinity for making sure gravity doesn't take my glutes down to the ground. So one of my favorite exercises that I do almost every day is standing floor side splits. And we're not going to do that today, but I really encourage that you do this series and incorporate some side splits into it, just so you're really getting that flexibility. Reverse your legs. So you can do it either on the reformer as it's traditionally taught, standing side splits, or do the variation on the floor and work a little bit glute strength. So I love working the hips plural. I love working the hips. And especially that for me, because that's where the damage in my skiing accident on the right side of my body, right shoulder, right rib, right hip, right knee. I'm always working to prevent gravity from taking my hips, but also too, to prevent injury on that right side as I grow older, to make sure that it's as stable as the left. Let's go ahead and do a butterfly stretch. So I've noticed that a couple of my older clients that have had issues falling, part of it is balance, but other part of it is just weakness in a non-dominant hip. So doing those standing floor side splits is really good for that, especially as we get older. We tend to dominate on one side. Let's do a frog to the foot bar for 5. You can add the choreography of the feet, point and flex if you want. If not, just standard flexed foot. 2 more. 1, press and hold, Peter Pan, left leg straight, and then right leg straight. If you know what is stag, for my stop teachers, just do your stag series where you're just bending and straightening 1, and then we'll do the arm leg extension to the side for a few reps. Let that challenge your obliques to stabilize your pelvis, your flexibility of your hips. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and frog in, reverse frog. Extend right leg out, press forward, in, left, press. In, extend right, press. Frog in, extend left, press. In right, press. In left, press. And butterfly stretch. All right, let's go ahead and take the feet out of the straps. Come up for an elephant sequence. For this, I'm going to do one red. Actually, I'm going to do a red and a blue. If you need to adjust your foot bar according to your arm length, it's up to you. Stand up, flat foot, stretch back, hips stretched up to get that hamstring connection to really stretch. Abs are in. Try to find that spine extension. Open about a foot and close a foot. In and out. Let's do flat back for 10 and then round back for 10. So flat back for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, hip flexion, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower your knuckles to the carriage. Rest off your wrist for 10 seconds. That stretch your hamstrings. You can arc forward and backward or side to side, whatever feels good. Hands back on. And let's do round back. Same position. Open the carriage a foot and close with your abs instead of your hip flexors for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop to knees. Drop to forearms. Slide your feet back to shoulder rest. Shift hips side to side. Since we just did flat back, round back, elephant, let's do the same exact movement, but sitting facing front, one red, straight legs. So we're going to do a rowing front stretch. We're going to do flat back, round back, just like we did. So it's basically elephant sitting. Arms are going to be out. And let's do flat back for 10, flexing at the hips. Keep the knees soft. 10, 9, 8, 7, really lengthen up through the spine. 6, 5, flex from the hips. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's do round back for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more. Post your straps. Flip around. We're going to do knee stretch, round back, flat back. So knees about sideways, fist distance away. Reach your arms forward. Get a nice stretch to start with. Bring your chest over your hands. And let's do flat back for 10, 9, stopping knees under hips, 8, 7, 6, lighten your resistance if this is too much, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, round back for 10, 10, 9, reach those sit bones back, 8, get that stretch, 6, abs are in, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more, and rest. Slowly slide your back to where your toes are off the spring side edge. Add another red spring, so we want a couple red springs on just so the bed doesn't move. Depending on your flexibility, you're going to play around with this bridge series. So slowly lower yourself onto the foot bar. Place your base of your shoulder blades on that foot bar, hands behind neck. So make sure the pinkies are supporting, abs are in, and bridge your hips up as you stretch over the bar for 10, 9, Bridge your hips and stretch. 8. Take your time. Adjust your back on that bar, and by all means, pat it if it's too uncomfortable. 5 more. Bridge, abs, glutes. Keep those abs engaged. And back down. 4. If you want to take your arms off, stretch a little deeper. And then hands back and return up. Go ahead. If not, keep hands behind. 3. Last 2. Abs and glutes. And stretch. And 1 more. The deeper that ab connection, lift of that navel. Now hold this here and stretch, laterally flex 2 times each side. And that rips my quads off. Forearms on, press up, child's pose stretch, reach forward. 3 more inhales. 2. Rib breathe if you can. Tummy's engaged. And walk yourself back up. Swing around to facing side. Let's Z-sit. Up against a shoulder rest. Let's take ourselves to 1 yellow only. We're going to go ahead and place our left hand on the frame behind and just lightly press out. Hand on the hip. Use that hand on the hip to really rotate that hip backward. Lift your chest and just press for 5. Let that hand help guide that hip to anchoring. 4. Look over your right shoulder. 3. Keeping that light spring on just to help you. 2. Only go as far as you can keep that hip down. And 1. Hold that stretch. Take the arm over and then back. 5 reps there. Open out. Arm goes up and stretch. Only lower as far as you can stay organized in that left shoulder. And to your best ability, keep that right hip anchored down. I like to press my right hip down. Feel the femur sink into the back of the socket. 2 more. Using this stretch to challenge my shoulder organization. And 1 more. Hold this stretch. Take your right arm down, rotate torso, and in and out for 5. In rotation. Look over left shoulder. 4. 3. Add that inhale into your left rib on the last 2 with a sniff. And 1 more. Rotate out. Hand on the right shoulder rest by the right knee and flip around. Switch facing the other side. Right hand on the frame. Left hand anchors. Look over your left shoulder. Open and close for 5. 4. Really help that hip down with that hand. 3. And feel that stretch and strength and stability in that right shoulder. 2. 1 more, then we'll add the arm. And 1. Hold this there. Arm goes over for 5. Lengthen up. 4. Take your time on that stretch, challenging your anchoring of that left hip. 3. 2. And think as you return up, your goal is skull to the ceiling, axial elongation. 1 more. Hold that stretch. Slowly rotate. Left arm down to the frame. Look over right shoulder and close. And open for 5, 4, 3. Try to get that breath into your ribs so you can keep some tummy engagement. 2. Last 2. Look over right shoulder. 1 more. And rotate out. Slowly pivot back. Have a seat. I like just to put my legs out. Keep the carriage closed. Make sure you're centered between shoulder rest and stretch both directions. Couple more each side. One more each side. You can keep your hand on the foot bar or go down to the frame. And last one to the right. Rotate your torso to the ceiling or the floor, whatever feels best, and rest. All right, so let's go ahead and grab the strap, scoot on. You can sit cross-legged style if that is comfortable. You can do this kneeling, it doesn't matter. You can do it in Z sitting, it's up to you. We're just gonna do some torso rotation to the left. Let's go to a blue today. And a little bit more strength. If you have the dual loop and handle combination, you can just flip the handle down and hold on to the handle. So let's rotate for 10. My cue is always to reach the right elbow forward more than we're thinking about twisting to left. For 3, spiraling up a barbershop pole with your skull with axial elongation. 4, 5, right ear reaches forward with the elbow. 6, 7, challenge to keep your core engaged. 2 more. Reach that elbow and ear forward on rotation, and 1. Post your strap, flip around, face the other direction. Cross-legged, side Z sit, whatever feels good for you. Whatever challenges you, but lets you keep your organization. And sit up tall, hug a tree arms. Inhale and exhale, whatever feels right for you. Ear and elbow forward on the left, and then ear and elbow forward on the right. For 2, 3, 4, 5, length up through your skull. 6, 7, 8, last 2, and 1 more. Post that strap. Let's get a nice little thigh stretch. So hop off onto the left side first. Left knee up against shoulder rest. Standard thigh stretch, and then we'll add the full stretch back, the Eve's Lunge series. So let's do 10. Lats and pecs and abs are engaged. Right glutes pressing back, hip extending. Instead of just dropping and hanging on our joints, we're really effectively telling our right glute to do hip extension. 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1. Hold that. Go ahead and press back, lifting the ball of your foot on the left, rolling to the heel, and straightening the leg. Drop down to the lunge, continue back, straightening your left leg, lifting the ball of the foot off, and return for 3 more. Drop into lunge first. Lift the ball of your foot, stretch back. 2 more. Drop down first, stretch, abs in. Keep shoulders organized. Last 1. Drop down, press back, and stretch. Switch sides. For 10 lunges. 9, 8, 7, 6, and 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1. Hold that down there. Press back, lift ball of the foot for 5. Drop down lunge, press back, lift foot. Stay organized. 4, 3, rolling onto the back of that heel. 2, stay organized in your shoulders and keep your abs really supporting that spine. And 1. So thank you for joining me for today's class, learning some progressive bridging sequences using both the box on the floor and the band around the hips and arms. If you have any questions or comments, if you have an issue with this, something slipping, something moving, please either leave it in the comment section. If you found that a medium band was too heavy, the light band was too light, remember, you can always use the TheraBands and adjust how hard you want that to be, especially if you don't have one of the full circle ankle bands. So enjoy doing different variations of this either in your class or repeating them and doing this class again. And remember, your feedback is paramount because this website and the classes are designed for you. I want you to learn progressive movements, but I also want you to ask questions so I can help. And keep your questions and comments coming. I really appreciate your feedback. Thanks.